I'm so tired. Kris, you do the show. You start. I'm so tired.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. Right here, right there, is Bill Bush, a very tired Bill Bush. He's the owner-operator of DrivingRangeHeroes.com, and you can follow him at Range Heroes. Me, I'm Kris McEwen. I guess I'm the owner-operator of this YouTube show, and we sort of co-own the podcast. But nevertheless, you can follow me at Kris McEwen on all the socials as well. Podcast listeners, speaking of which, there's a ton of you out there, and yet we only have like 3 ratings and reviews.
Oh man, guys,
we're here every week, busting our ass, Bill. We so much show prep, week after week after week.
Goddamn week.
The least you could do is just stop by, hit 5 stars, and then just type something, say like, "Cool show," or "These guys are morons."
The show sucks,
but listen anyways.
Right?
Just do that real quick. It takes like seconds.
I more or less have recorded. Let's not even count Lockdown Golf Podcast. I have recorded this show more or less 130 weeks straight. You can go leave me a rating on the podcast and tell a friend.
It's true. And then those viewers on YouTube, you know the drill. You know YouTube. We're going to ask you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell.
Love you guys.
Yeah. We're almost, I think we're inside 25 subscribers for the big 1K.
Man, we're on a speed pocket right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things again. So, I mean, we had 800 hours this month of watch time, and I can't even remember the amount of views.
That's like at least a week's worth of watching. At least.
Right. So, Bill, do you want to start with why you're tired, or would you prefer why it hurts when I laugh?
First, ask what I'm drinking. See that?
What? Oh, yeah.
Ask me what that is.
What is it?
Just raspberry lemonade.
Okay. Great. You just wanted to show off the
No, I didn't.
logo?
I just thought it'd be funny that, like, oh, it's a nice cocktail. No.
Yeah.
Sunday night lemonade.
Right.
So yeah, I have a lot of golf stuff to talk about.
You had a little Golf-A-Palooza. It was one of your, what is it, a biannual or semi-annual family leaves town. Bill plays as much golf as humanly possible.
Yeah.
In about 3 days.
And it's funny how it's like the community that comes together to support it and enable it for me. From my boss, my friends, my parents, my wife herself who takes the kids. Like everybody's just like, we get it, go get it out of your system. And your friends like me have to take advantage of it because sometimes it's the only time we can get you. Right. Come on. You and I do okay-ish, and especially with our new 9-hole discovery, which I think is more fun than like any of the real golf we play. Because
that we've done once.
We're going to do it.
But I agree.
We're going to do it so much more. And I love it just because, like we talked about last time we did it, it felt like just the old men you want to be someday, where you just go play 9 holes early in the morning and probably go to McDonald's and drink your coffee and spend 2 hours there because it's what old people do.
It's not a bad life. No, not a bad life.
No. Yeah, I've played so much golf. Actually, it's, compared to you young whippersnapper hotshots, it's not that much. I've just played 54 holes over 3 days, 2 of which walked, 1 of which I carried my bag, and it was miserable. But I played shockingly well in that heat and carrying my bag. Whereas the day I didn't, I used a push cart. I just like collapsed. That said, that was a 5.5 hour round. I'll talk more about that one.
Good God.
So
I feel like that's kind of your MO though, for like you show up on special occasion golf courses.
Yeah, that's weird how that's.
I think you're just more kind of, I don't know.
Unless it's Oak Park Country Club, then you can guarantee I'm in the shit.
But that's because you've played that one. It's barely a special occasion golf course anymore.
It's got my number. but there's that there. And then we've talked about before, I very much have like a finite amount of time of golf on me. It's not an amount of swings. It's,
right.
But I can only keep my head together in golf for so long. And yesterday I met on the list for when everybody's out of town have been 2 Langford Moreau not hidden gems. Let's call them diamonds in the rough, maybe, that aren't super far away, but they're not close. One in Salem, Wisconsin, Spring Valley Country Club, and another one in Kankakee, the Kankakee Elks golf course. And both of them are like the Spring Valley, Wisconsin one. Their country club in Salem, Wisconsin's like 1927.
I was gonna say, do you want to give just a quick 2-minute primer on Langford and Moreau?
So if you are just joining us here at That Range Life, a show something about golf, Teddy Moreau and William Langford were a design and construction golf course construction team. Early 1900s, Chicagoland area, built a bunch of courses in the Midwest. They are known.
First users of the steam shovel?
They're known for pioneers of using the steam shovel to build their courses, and they could move and shape land much different than everybody else who were using like horse and plows and things like that. So that plus just the signature look and design is very much a characteristic you can see and go, that's Langford and Moreau for sure.
Yep.
Bunkers and shaved bunkers, which I want to talk about that because as I have played 3, I realized this today, I played 3 Langford courses this weekend, or 3 Langford touched courses.
Right. I was going to say, because the one was a redo.
And one of them is,
2 of them were.
I say the one I played today was, if you go back, the forefathers of American golf were all 7 different Scottish guys that came over and helped with golf. You had the Fullis brothers, Willie Park Jr., who did Olympia Fields North.
Olympia Fields, right.
But there's this guy, William Watson. He was, at a St. Andrews area protege, and he did Westmoreland Country Club in 1911-ish. And then in the 20s, I think it was, Tillinghast and Moreau or Langford came in and did some work.
Yeah.
And sometime down the line, Arthur Hills and someone else came in. So it's hard to tell you how much the Langford and Tillinghast stuff's still there, but you can see the inspiration of it. Anyway, so I said, John, let's pick one. What should we do? And he's like, hey, let's go do I think it was really just like tee time availability or whatever. He said, let's go do Spring Valley up in Wisconsin. Let's get that one knocked off. So it's about it would have been an hour for you to get there, and it's an hour 12 for me to get there. It's up there. And this course was super cool. $30 to walk. I don't want to say middle of nowhere, like so it's on the Wisconsin side of the border, but the Antioch high school golf team plays out of it.
Okay. Yeah. I know the area. Sure.
Okay. And I saw grandparents lived in Spring Grove, Richmond. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. And the place where John and I went after our round of golf, there was a meat raffle starting shortly after. Right. And I was like, I only hear about these. How do they work? It was fascinating. But a lot of people coming from those towns. I'm like, I know those names as you say them. So it was interesting to me to see that the Antioch golf team won 7th in the IHSA golf state tournament in 1938. Oh shit! And I'm wondering if they played it there. But anyway, this course is interesting. Like, it was private sometime many moons ago. I want to say the family that owns it now has owned it since roughly 1960 or maybe 59, something like that. Yeah. The course has seen better days. It's rough. It's very playable, but like they leave the fairways a certain length, so I think it's minimal operation.
Sure.
Interesting feature.
Light touch agronomy, is that the word? Kind of just like
that's fair to say.
Minimum touch, yeah.
It's interesting, like they have a whole like maintenance area. So there's this whole, they don't have a driving range, but there's this huge, just long open space in the middle of the property that apparently used to be the tennis courts, the pool, et cetera, et cetera. And they have, that's the driving range. And by driving range, you bring your own balls. You can hit them back and forth as you please. So
shut up, really?
Yeah, it's interesting. And then, there's like, where the country club's maintenance area used to be. Well, now that's their maintenance area where basically it's one guy who works out of, and just a row of old, huge lawnmowers just with weeds growing through them, which you look at them, they're not that old. So you're going, there's some value of sort to them out here. But, I think they do good money to stay open and make a profit, but definitely not to invest in being a premium course. And like, that's probably not the clientele going there anyway.
Yep. I wonder, do people that play it regularly know its significance? Do you think?
Think so, because we were paired, we were by ourselves, and it was a death march. And so we just kept bunching up on tees. You'd and talk to the group in front of you for like 5 minutes. They'd finally get the tee off, and then you have to wait. So then you talk to the group that's behind you for 5 minutes, and then you tee off. So we ended up getting paired with this guy who has a membership there. They're like $2,000 a year, unlimited golf, whatever, which the membership sounded pretty steep for what you get there. So that was interesting. And then his kid like works part-time at the course, and the other part-time is going to college. So, John and I were sort of just asking some little questions or make some comments, and they'd be like, well, what are you talking about? And I sent you some pictures of these shrunken greens.
The greens. So
that's a common thing with a lot of these old courses, but especially like Langford was known for these really big, sharp fall off, like undulating greens. And then over time, they all have shrunk so much, and you can literally go out and see where the lines should be back to, and they just aren't anymore. So they become these little like tiny postage stamps, when in reality you're like in the rough going, I'd be on the green.
Right. Normally. I was going to say they've shrunken by feet.
Like 25 feet in some cases.
Right.
It's insane.
Right.
But here's what's fascinating about it. All the bones, every single bit of it, still there. Yeah. It just needs somebody.
You could have sent me a picture of that with no context, and I would have been like, wow, that looks like a Langford Moreau green complex. Shrunk, but you can see it. It's right there.
Well, no point that someone come in and change
flatten it.
Anything.
Right.
So it's all there. And I just think like it'd be super cool if, some super wealthy guy in the area who has a love for the history of it, whatever, just because they're really working hard, I guess, to make sure. They've been offered tons of money. The guy told us over the years to sell it and build houses on it. And the guy's like, no, I want it to stay a golf course. And so they're passing it down in the family. And
interesting.
It'd be cool if somebody could just go in there and be like, I got $3 million. Let's just get all the greens where they need to be, and we'll just leave the rest as is.
If you think about what think about Lasonia and how they've made that such a destination and a golfy kind of hangout. Like, it's there. The customers are there if you build it.
Well, and I think more people like me would make the effort to go to it if it was more polished. Whereas now, to me, it'll be like I loved every minute of it. I'm gonna say it. If it was closer around here, I think I think it's more fun to play than Ravislow. More enjoyable.
Oh wow!
Right,
high praise.
Ravislow just has a little better like fit and finish to it, so that maybe edges it. And obviously the clubhouse, that's always fun to be around.
Right.
But to me, the course is more interesting to play. Just just missing some of the TLC that it needs, but super cool course. Right. And so glad I played it. And then I asked John, like, I'm praising this, giving a lot of credit. What would I think of Kankakee Elks? He's like, oh, I think it's probably a little better than this. So I'm excited to knock that one out. And same thing. I think Kankakee Elks is like, might be like $40 to walk.
Now, I thought Kankakee Elks was pretty run down. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know. Well, this place is pretty run down too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right. Like, I thought the maintenance was kind of the same. I wonder what makes it. Did he say I think why he thought it would be better? The
property's probably just a little more interesting.
Okay.
But it's interesting. Like there's, those private club. You think, at Ravislow, I can't think. Is it maybe 11 where it has that little shack in the corner of the property that clearly was like a halfway house kind of thing, and it's just never open now?
Yeah.
They have their version of that, and windows, doors, everything blown off of it, gutted, and just like a random storage. There was someone's tent taken apart and down on the ground, and like a bucket of small alcohol bottles of sorts. It was a different vibe, but there was something, so much charm to it. And then again, go across the street to, I think it's called Ralph's Ace of Hearts or Ace of Clubs or something. And
I know that place.
So you've never played this course and you know all this stuff?
Well, because I grew up out there, but I didn't play golf.
Oh, that's true.
I didn't golf.
And you're not going back there. That makes
sense.
Right.
I mean, if I would love to go out there God, I could give you a tour of that area for Christ's sake. Hit up the town pump out there. Hopefully it's still there. I'd show you where my grandparents' warehouse was. They had it was like a bowling alley resurfacing company for years and years and years. That's where we had our own bowling alley. They built a bowling alley in the warehouse. I'd go by that. I mean, yeah.
Well, I guess
that Twin Lakes area, that whole kind of thing, man. That's God, yeah.
I guess we know what we're putting on the list for next year, knowing all this now. But Ralph's. I don't know how. I think that we would have hit a point in maybe a spotted cow or two too many where we overstayed our welcome. And there's not a scene. I'll just say two liberal Chicago boys probably fit great in.
No, not even a little.
While we were there, though, we were chit-chatting with everybody. The bartenders loved us. It was great, and we went on our way. But yeah. It's I loved every bit of it, and I text John Heisey multiple times, like, man, it doesn't have a lot of like the bells and whistles and pizzazz of the golf days and adventures, but it's just such a perfect golf day. A little road trip to it, a little like, how did you end up at this dive bar talking about meat raffles and then going, I need to stay for the meat raffle? I don't know.
100%. That's the beauty of those kind of things. Yeah.
And then
I'm with you on that.
That's awesome. Then I think there's also some charm to sitting in their little, like, I don't even know where to begin in explaining the clubhouse to you. It's shitty, gross.
Carpeted.
Yeah.
Like that worn down old carpet kind of.
And awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah. Sure.
I could have stayed there and had some sodas all day long. Couldn't probably eat anything other than like candy bars and chips, but maybe a hot dog, which is fine.
Right.
Yeah, it was just, and this is the whole point. And like I said, the two guys who remember, they know that, but the kid works there and like works on the course, not just like taking money, like.
Yeah. No, they put them on a mower or
whatever. Yeah, hey, go pick up the garbage cans. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's on a roller.
That's fair.
But he, and we're sitting here going, you guys are looking at this because you live in the area and this is just your little shitty $30 golf course. You don't know what this is.
Yeah. Right. Or what it could be.
If I'm going to say what it is. If I had that near me for $30, if that was near us, well, one, it would be in different shape. But if that was anywhere near us, it would be easy a $65 walk, and they'd be all over the, William Langford. The truth is, if it was anywhere near us, Bob Lohman or Dick Nugent would have came in 35, 40 years ago and destroyed it.
It's totally true.
So,
God, it's so true.
But there's just so many goofy little things. I have a picture, and I didn't send it to you because I was saving it all for the show, and I'll send it to you later. But it's the original huge irrigation map from 1927 on the wall of the clubhouse, and it's just incredible. And then they had there's a story of in the 50s. I want to say it's the original owning family. Their beloved horse died, and they, much like the rail car or boxcar green in Lasonia, they bury the horse on a tee box in the tee box and have a little monument to him. Bourbon.
Really? Oh God, that's awesome.
So it has all the goofy, weird things.
Yeah.
And it's this little like hole in the wall golf course.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin. I'm so excited about it, and having done it now. Just I probably won't go back this year, but I can't wait to go back. A couple other interesting little things about it.
Yeah, when I have a better day next summer. I'd love to go. Yeah.
I'm hoping I can cross off Kankakee Elks this year, but that's gonna be a stretch. Because I got there's a lot of like potential for some neat little gems that are gonna take some time and token caching that I'd rather do than Kankakee Elks. Interesting notes about this place has one little pond that seems like it might be out of place, wasn't there originally, but as time has evolved, like they need to do something with water. So that's what it's there for. But then there's like this big lake, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's not like,
do you know what it's called?
No, it's not like a drive your boat on a lake, but like, you look at it, go, this is a significant body of water. Maybe like something you'd see at Mistwood. But it looks a little more natural, and you can see there's like this little open piece of maintained land that sticks out on one of it. And you're like, what is that? Why is that? That just seems like a weird piece of land going to waste, but why are they taking care of it? And you look, it's a tee box for the next hole that they can shift over there, and you're firing it from an angle, carrying the lake. You're like, God, that thing's awesome.
Wow.
But I know the kid was telling us they had, I say kid, he was probably a 20 to 23-year-old kid.
That counts.
It counts. I was gonna say, when we're both old enough to be that kid's dad, I'm like, Jesus Christ, technically speaking, I could have a oh God.
It's not even technically speaking. I am that kid's dad.
Yeah, like, I'm still
my kids are that old.
I'm only 37. But I'm old, like I am old enough.
It's true. Yeah.
So he would tell us like, there's some interesting, like, there's definitely abandoned tee boxes where they just gave up on them. And this place is suffering from it. I was explaining to these guys how when they built these places, they didn't anticipate these big giant trees covering everything and coming into it. And they do have a lot of like, that tree should not be hanging over like this.
Right.
But it costs a lot of money to deal with, and they're not going to do it.
Right.
But they've also lost a lot of tee box to not getting sunlight and water. So they've been working to fix a lot of them. And so I think they do have a lot of space on that course where they're like, we just don't have the time, money, and effort to maintain the infrastructure to keep these tee boxes open. But they'd be cool ones. There's a lot of them. No bunkers. 0 bunkers.
Really?
So the story goes, according to John Heisey, Langford, the way they worked, Langford drew up the plans. Moreau oversaw the construction usually.
Okay.
So Moreau is there overseeing it, and they're like, money costs money to do that. We're going to come back and do the sand later. Never came back and did the sand.
Yeah, that never happens.
And then I don't know, at some point, what ownership or whatever, there's ownership turnover. Yeah, we're not going to do it. And then throughout time, it's like, that's a lot of money. And our course has never had sand. So why add sand to it now? Doesn't have any sand on it.
Fascinating.
And so you'll find yourself in a swell of some sort. You're like, why is this here in the middle of a fairway? And if you know Langford bunkering, you go, because this was supposed to be a shaved area where it ran off, buried you about 4 feet down in sand. And then in front of you, you have a 10-foot sod wall.
Right. Right.
It's incredible.
That's no joke either. For those that haven't played Langford Moreau courses, like that's not being dramatic or that's like a legit design.
So I want to bring us to our next topic. So I have a lot of love for this course. I will be back to it. I want nothing to change there. I leave it unless they're going to spend a ton of money to make them original Langford cuts
the greens
again.
Yeah. Right.
Leave it alone. Right. That's like I say, like you're this course, you can't find these where all of the bones are still there. Every single bit of it. It just has like bad covers on it. That's all.
Right. Right.
So then we go to our round backwards in time to our round on Friday.
Right.
The Schaumburg Golf Club.
Right.
Great renovation work. Of an early
amazing renovation. Yeah.
And an early 1900s Langford Moreau golf course again that saw, I don't even remember who, but has been ran through by architects and designers numerous times over its history.
I think your buddy Nugent had a go at it.
Nugent or Lohman would definitely probably maybe Packard. We keep forgetting Packard.
Oh yeah, Packard's another one. Yeah,
he's
one of those three for sure.
Packard
went through
is less egregious, not great, but less egregious in his work. I feel like than the other two. So, at some point, and we've talked about it on the show before. At some point, someone swung through and said, "Got these maps, this design. Let's get as much of original Langford where we can, and where we can't, it's clearly inspired by the original design and his methods."
Right.
Generally speaking, when those courses reopen following renovation, just nailed it. Perfect. They did such a good job. It's been what, 2 years maybe? This might be year 3.
This is, well, they did the way they did it. They did it 9 at a time, so it's got to be 3 or 4 years probably now. But I
think it's been 2-3 years with all of them open,
all of them done. Right.
Okay.
Right.
They nailed it at first. I thought it was great. When we played, I was borderline depressed, angry that they it's like clearly someone decided I think we talked about it, like decided they knew better, and the whole concept of the shaved bunkers that Langford did, and they're just letting the grass grow long. Like there's a first cut protecting it now.
On some of those holes, yeah, you're right.
And quite a few of them, and you're like, why is it doing this weird like point thing around the sides of it? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it's very much in play, and it will easily stop your golf ball from going to that bunker, which maybe they have their little local membership. I don't know. I'm assuming you can get a membership there.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
And they're like, hey, this is too hard. We changed this, but I'm disappointed to see that. It was so good to see a la Mount Prospect, a modern course going, hey, put some of these golden era classic.
We're gonna let you roll into a bunker if you hit at a bunker,
especially when it's a terrible, shitty shot. Like hit a coffin bunker,
right?
You get what you deserve.
Right.
So
for sure.
I kind of, it's not one of those things where the damage is done and it's going to be a huge project to fix that. Like the reality
I feel like, was that mostly greenside bunkering? Because like, you think about,
I noticed it more in a lot of the fairway ones.
Really? Cause that's kind of funny. Cause I feel like I noticed it more. Like there's a few fairway bunkers like that. There's a few that have like pot bunkers.
Yeah.
But those are shaved. And you can roll into that.
I feel like they have
I don't
27 holes. I can't remember which was which.
We got to play the bear. We didn't play the bear because I would like to see if maybe they maintain that one a little differently.
One of the two we played, I noticed it more so than the other.
Right.
One. So,
for sure. Okay.
But to me, it's like I don't know. It's not something right now they could do something about it. Just get the mowers out and tend to it. And harp on it a few times. Whereas, 6 to 10 years from now, that it's like, no, you won't be able to do it anymore. That'll be gone and it'll restarted. Yeah. So
right.
Yeah. That said, did I I'm going to say it this way on purpose. Did I put on a clinic golfing? No, I played so bad.
Yeah, well, you were dealing with some extracurricular stuff, to be fair. It's a stressful day for you.
Oh, just, the long day. And so my point being was going to be there. Like you were playing pretty well. And I think, ran out of steam, whatever. I think you ran out of steam / had to put up with. I'm a big believer in when you are golfing and playing well, but you have to watch somebody else play like shit, even if your pace of play is not impacted.
Right.
And there's one thing you have to admit about me. I'm still out there having fun, even when I'm shooting bad. It's not like I'm saying, I feel bad about myself and make this miserable for everybody who's around me. Like I'm not.
No, I would not. Yeah, that your play didn't affect mine at all. I would like to blame you, but I don't think that's what it was. I only really had like 2 bad holes. We had the same bad hole together. That was fun.
It was fun.
We were terrible. Oh, got it.
Family adventure.
Yeah, that was fun. But otherwise, like I shot at just another boring 83.
I think
that's just my new.
You can watch people. And even though it's like mentally, it's not bringing you down. There's like an osmosis thing that happens where you're like, oh, I see you topping the ball and spraying it. Shit, how did I start doing it now? Why am I doing this? And I think about when I started getting better at golf, a lot of it was just do what the guy on TV is doing. Just do what the guy in the
there is that idea. There is that idea that you should never watch someone else swing a club,
right,
or hit a golf ball because it'll mess you up. I have read that and seen that advice before.
And then, of course, as we texted yesterday, and then what ended up happening again today, I played 2 really good rounds of golf after we played. So there is something there. There's something toxic about our golf course interaction. Like we have probably more fun than we do in general when we play together.
That could be the case too, right?
But I'm still chalking it up to no. The reality is long work week, just fried from it, and it's like I'm just not here for golf.
I mean, the both of us sounded already defeated and deflated before we swung a club.
What did I say to you at the first tee? I was like, I texted you earlier today how excited I was. Like, God, I can't wait to get to the course. Only a few more hours. And you're like, yeah, me too.
Right.
And we go there, we go to the range. And I said to you, I go, I don't understand it because this happens to me all the time. I go through all of it. I'm looking forward to it. I can just let go and enjoy myself. And I get to do something fun with a good friend. Great.
Easier said than done.
And now I'm like, as I'm sitting there, it's like a form of a first tee jitter, except I'm not nervous. I'm just like
apathetic.
I don't want to do this.
Right.
I don't feel like
I drove all the way out here. I might as well, but like
I'm sure by the 3rd hole I'll feel like golfing. Okay, maybe the 7th, 9th.
No, see, for me, once I hit my first shot, I was like, all right, I'm golfing now. I'm playing golf. Let's go play golf.
There is something to that, like, well, I am golfing now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least I'm golfing. Then it's like one good shot or sticking one close, and then you're like, okay, now I want to golf.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you.
Which I did on the 2nd hole, and it was off to the races.
Was that the 2nd hole where all of you guys like stuck darts close, and I'm like, I'm over here. Don't worry about me.
That was your first, like 175-yard 9-iron of the day. You had multiple.
I still don't.
Do you remember that? You're just flying greens. The
next few days didn't happen. So
really,
maybe it's something with the Schaumburg grass. Like it's something. Is it a Poana? Maybe what's the one? It's like Poya or something like that.
I can guarantee it's not
the female Poya. Chicken.
Right.
Poya. A La Poya. I don't know. Grass nerds, leave a comment below on what Schaumburg probably has for grass.
I guarantee it's Kentucky bluegrass. That's what everything is around here.
Not the crabgrass I got up there at Spring Valley Country Club.
No.
We will talk about at a future day. I have plans for it, but I almost want to save the show to talk about Westmoreland Country Club, where I played today.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of positives about it. Great experience as always with interesting cast of characters. One of great internet fame. We'll save like I said, we'll save that for a future show because I think it deserves its own coverage and might be good. Something for, the fall, winter when we need topics and something people want to click on.
Fair.
I'm going to
who did Westmoreland?
Who
was that? Another Langford?
Yeah, that was the Watson did it, then Langford and Tillinghast, and then Arthur Hills. Right. And I'll tell you this: I did play it in Arthur Hills, modern renovation or rework or whatever of a Donald Ross course, Olympia. I keep doing this. Oakland Hills North. So Donald Ross did both courses at some point. Arthur Hills came in and did that one. I think Arthur Hills might have been involved in all the Pinehurst renovations pre-Core Crenshaw, bringing it back to the original designs. And Arthur Hills, I think, is known for like bright green, rolling, grassy places. You could see that had happened at some point here, but somebody, I think, had enough wherewithal to like, hang on, we can't do this completely, and just sort of didn't redesign anything and isn't changing like anything from an architectural standpoint, but they did little fine touches from a superintendent groundskeeping perspective.
Just dialed it back a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have a whole Westmoreland take, and we'll do that future. I decided we'll say that for a future show, but I'm going to say this.
Okay.
Walked 5.5 hours at 18 holes in blistering heat in Wisconsin yesterday, but I had a push cart. I was 2 over on the day through 15.
Wow.
We were playing we finished 4 holes to start in the beginning of the day. And John looks up at me and goes, we finished 4 holes in an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh,
and
my God.
So that gets it right. Everybody's slowing down. And this kid behind us probably hit into us. I mean, we're talking multiple times a hole, even like off the tee he would, and then into the greens, and turning, doing the stair stuff, and doesn't get through to him. And finally, on the 17th hole, John's like, "You got to give us more time." Oh, I didn't see you guys. Like, no one's going anywhere.
Right.
There's like 4 groups per hole right now. You just need to wait and be sure. So, I'm playing well, 2 over. I'm keeping it to myself too, because then the worst thing you can do is make a spectacle about it and be like, wait, what about this hole? And you're like, no, here were the shots, and I got to justify that I'm playing good golf.
Right.
So 16, bad bogey. I'm like just off the green in 2 and just really have to pop it up there and find a way to, it's maybe 30 feet of ground I have to cover in 2 shots. It should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Bad bogey. Okay. 17. God knows what I did off the tee. Just another series of bad shots. Bogey. 18. Spray one right into the makeshift driving range, but somehow still have a look. Managed to shit all over it and do something bad. And it's like, okay, well, it is what it is. It's a 2-tier Langford green that's now just like one little postage stamp on top of it. Which that was interesting too. The amount of 2-tier Langford greens built uphill.
That was just one green now.
That looked like false fronts, and someone had maybe they were going to build a bunker there. Like, no, that was supposed to be the front, a second tier of a green. And there's one that was even first tier.
That makes me so sad.
First tier, second tier, third tier was the green.
Oh my goodness!
And you could false fronted into the second tier, and the guy's like, "Oh, that false front." I'm like, "That false front is a hump in the green, and that's supposed to be the false front in the middle of the fairway, right there."
Yeah. Yep.
So bad, and none of the shots were hard, and I double bogeyed 18. I'm like, well. That's how you finish strong, kids. Just so tired, and you're hurt.
But still, what'd you shoot? Probably a 76 then? 78?
78, 77, something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You talk about bad bogeys, just real quick. At Schaumburg, how many bad bogeys did I have where I was green and reg? 4? 5?
You did 3-putt a good little bit. Yeah.
It was not great.
Well, you were playing with the black cloud of bad mojo. Not attitude, just mojo. But again, Langford Moreau, if you know it, tends to be a lot because they had their steam shovels and they were so good at making elevation where there wasn't elevation.
That's part of, I was just saying that's part of the fun. Yeah,
so
totally.
Up and down the hour and 15-minute car ride there. So just gassed when you have that long
day.
So then you roll into, all right, I've played, thank God, we had plans to walk and do some stuff. Thank God you and I rode, or else I would have been toast today. So we showed
for sure
a lot of storms in the Chicagoland region this week.
Yeah.
And no carts. You can take a caddy if you want. You can use one of our push carts if you want. I'm like, nah, I'll just throw my bag on and I'll carry it. It's fine. I'm so sore and so I
can't believe you carried. I would never.
I don't know.
Would never carry unless we're doing like a 5 club round or like I'm not carrying my bag.
On top of that, I took me this bag, my Sun Mountain H2 now light something. I love it so much, but it took me since I put that thing on in my game. I use it. It's taken me so long to get the straps just right that it sits where I want it,
Right. And the crook of your back and all that
and
kind of stuff.
I put it on this isn't right, whatever. My caddy at Oak Park Country Club the other week changed it because
right.
Oh, God.
Right.
So I was like ready to text my friend who's a member there and back. I need you to get $40 back from that caddy for me. Furious. I will say I respect that because I hate this too. Caddies at these clubs tend to go and rearrange my irons where they like them to be. Don't do that. So she didn't do that. So she give me 20 back.
You're the worst.
Give me 20 back.
Oh my God.
Well, because they lose. One time I had one of the caddies there lose my 60-degree wedge. He just lost it. And
that's a bad caddy. I mean, that's just, like.
Well, and it's hard for me to figure that out at any point because they're not in their spots anyway. Thankfully, we had, some honor caddy who's been there for a handful of years and he immediately is on it with the right guy and they found it. But it's just like, just leave the clubs where they're in and make sense. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 52 or pitch 52, 54, 60. It's easy, bro. So she left my clubs where they belong. So she can give me 20 back. So I'm hurting real bad. Sunburn, even though I was SPF 15 the shit out of myself.
Yeah.
Hurt so bad. But I have to know, what is your injury?
I've told you. I was complaining about it on Friday, right? I remember I told you, like, I couldn't laugh because it hurt. So I've got.
You did not tell me that on Friday.
Oh, I thought maybe I did, and you were just too angry at yourself to listen or something.
I was never angry.
Okay, fine. All right. So every time it turns out, every time you and I play golf, I incur an injury. So we played that stupid 9-hole course. Not stupid. We played the 9-hole round, right? And walked off the course. I was fine. I get home, and suddenly I have some sort of tweaked hip flexor, and I'm limping around the rest of the weekend like a goof. Like, for real, like, did not swing a club the rest of the week because I was worried about Arizona.
Wait, you hurt your hip golfing?
I did, yeah, my left hip.
Funny you bring that up. So in today's round, when I was on the tee today, man, I was hitting like Rory bombs, just pounding the thing. And on one of them, I hit it this great shot. I'm like, ow, what's hurting? Like both my hips. My hips just had like surge of pain. And I go, I think this is called getting old. Since when does your hip hurt from a golf swing?
Right. Well, so if for those that don't have a visual, and I guess I'm staying, but like your lead hip, when you're going into that turn, right there when that weight gets on that front foot and that hip comes out a little bit, and you kind of extend that hip, like I couldn't do that at all. In fact, it just putting weight on it hurt like hell. Thankfully, it cleared up. It went away. It was just like a tweak or whatever. But now I've got this thing, but I think it started in Arizona. I think I did it in Arizona, maybe on Sunday. like playing golf there.
I know how you get when you go on outings with friends. Maybe it wasn't actually golf related what started it.
That's fair too. That's also possible. But anyways, it turns out I looked it up. I did it's always good to Google your injuries because that's a healthy thing to do.
That's how we became learned doctors.
Right. So you have intercostal muscles that attach your ribs, to keep your ribs in place and together. And you can strain those. And again, if you look at so I have a strained intercostal muscle in my, right under my ribs. And I actually Googled why does it hurt under my rib when I cough or laugh? Because that's when it hurts. Like right now it doesn't hurt. I can do all this. I can move around. It doesn't really hurt. But if I do anything, like if I cough or laugh, it hurts. It's legitimately painful.
Talking about these. I'm not trying to one up your story here.
Right.
But I was like, I injured one of those muscles once. I know exactly what you mean. Do you know how I did it? It was probably third grade, fourth grade, maybe.
Okay.
The guys horsing around in the classroom. And I don't know what it was like for you, and I still think of how gross this was now as an adult. You brought your lunch either in your little lunch box, which I'm
sure.
I can't have a lunch box. I'm a dork.
No, brown bag.
Brown bag. You bring your brown bag of some form of sandwich.
Right.
And God help you, if you're like, I like lunch meat and cheese, that's going to be sitting at room temperature for 4 hours.
God. Right.
Right. And we put them in every day, the big storage, a big plastic Tupperware storage
all
thing.
In one spot. Right.
So they go at lunch. Miss Kwiatkowski's third grade classroom is right here. Go get your lunch out of it in the lunchroom. Well, horsing around as we're standing in line to go out to recess or something. My buddy gives me one of these pushes, not like a hard push, but enough. I'm like, well, I'm off balance. And I went down on the the edge of the lunch Tupperware thing. And it was get up. And I'm like, oh
yeah.
Why can't I breathe? Why does this hurt so much? And my buddies, of course, oh God, I'm going to be in trouble. Oh, and I'm like, no, it's a freak accident. Oh. And then I didn't. I'm going to the doctor, and they're like, no, the little muscles between your ribs.
Yeah.
You just ripped it, bro. And I was like, that doctor called me bro at 10 years old. Right. And I go,
dude, that hurt just now. That hurt when you just made that stupid joke. Stop being so funny, Bill.
I'm so hilarious. But I can relate to you, man. That I remember it shouldn't be. It seems so minimal. And I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, I don't know. Just don't do anything.
Right. You just let it heal. The good news is, and obviously I wouldn't have stopped anyways because there's still 4 months left of the golf season, but it doesn't affect my golf swing at the moment. I don't know if I could aggravate it more. I'm sure I could if I wanted to, if I really tried. But yeah, it's they're starting to add up. I think last year I had the same thing going on. Every month I pick up a new something's sore or stiff or just not right, whatever it is.
Like the idea of it's something to do with anytime you play with me, you get a freak injury. Because of course.
But it's always after, it's not during us playing. Once I get home, it's like, oh, I hurt myself.
Yeah. I mean, that's same thing. I'm like, I am a little tired, a little sore, a little limpy out of the locker room today. Man, after I got home from the 52-minute drive from Wilmette today, I mean,
that's tough. That is tough.
Dead pain in my knees. I need knee replacement pain.
Right.
Shoulders, everything hurts. And it was a point where I was like, oh, maybe just for something to do because I got nothing else going on. I'll go hit a few balls. Over here, got to work on I'm working on my Adele SMS irons review.
Sure.
Get a little refresher on those, and I got nothing else to do. So if I try to get up and swing a golf club right now, you saw the text that said that you would Adam Unfiltered. I'm pretty sure I'm texting you from the other side.
Right.
It's not in the cards. Not in the cards.
That's tough. I would rather play. I mean, it's like the sort of catch-22 of going up to Lasonia, right? You can go up to Lasonia, you leave early in the morning and you're awake, whatever. You get there, you play a ton of golf. It's great. but then you got to sit back in the car for 3 hours. That's,
you know how we talk about
that is a penance right there. You are paying a penance for that great golf.
Where you're like, oh, come play Wilmette, Evanston, somewhere in that area. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be difficult because I know you got to come to me, but you don't understand all those North Shore towns. There's just no good way for me to get there.
No, I get it.
I had totally I had a reminder in that today, just how wild it is. Cause I can get to my north-south highways, right, are 355, 294, get real crazy, go to 94 and go, because I go all the way to city, whatever.
Yeah, but that's 294 is your, you're right. 294 is you and I would cross paths on 294. Right.
But for me to get to Wilmette, I have to take every Chicagoland highway except 55. Right. You go up so the way there sent me up 355 to 290, 290s to 90 to 94.
Right.
And then on the way home, they sent me down 94 to 294 to 90 to 293, 55. And I was like, you have to, there's just no good shot there from the western suburbs to the northern suburbs. You have to take the entire Illinois interstate system.
Yeah, it's gross.
I might just figure out how to work it.
It's such a shame too, because Wilmette is such a fun, like Wilmette up there in Glenview Park.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd really enjoy those.
Super
old.
Next time I go that way, I'm going to figure out how to work 57 into the mix just to knock them all out. Why not?
Right.
Why not?
Right. Sure. Why not?
It was a ton of fun golfing together. And then more importantly, and nothing to get home to, and as is tradition, when the cat's away, the mice will play. I go, there's only one thing I can have for dinner after golf that's close.
Oh, that's right. That's right. My own maiden voyage.
We went to the Arlington Heights Johnny's Italian beef. Admittedly not as good as Elmwood Park, but still a solid beef sandwich.
Very, very good beef sandwich for sure. Very good.
I
would rank it. I was thinking about, like Al's. I have a bias. I love Al's, but I would put it right behind. I put it ahead of Portillo's.
Oh,
beef
for sure.
But not everybody. Some people love the Portillo's beef, but that's just not. That ain't it.
John Heisey and I had an extensive argument about that. Probably 2 holes worth at I can't even think of the name, Sunset Valley.
Okay.
And it really came down to, and he's like, you can't even tell the difference since a venture capitalist. That was so many years ago. And I'm like, yes, I can. I grew up with this place. Like, I remember when the Portillo's in Villa Park was the hot dog stand. I remember when the Portillo's in Downers Grove was just like an arcade with a little hot dog window next to it.
Wait, so he's team Portillo's beef?
He thinks that he respects all the beefs. He's very good about it. I can't take that from him.
I'm not saying any of those are bad.
Right.
I'm just telling you which ones are better.
He's saying, but whereas you and me might go like, Portillo's beef, take it or leave it. He's saying like, no, they always do a good beef. And I'm like, man, not anymore. And that's not fair to say. Some days you get a Portillo's beef, it's good, it's fine. Some days
I don't like the cut. I don't like the way they cut it.
It's not, and you don't get the same thing every time. Like it's
right. Yeah.
Today's batch sucks.
Yeah.
Don't know what to say.
That ain't it. Get the fries. Best fries in the world. I would take Portillo's fries up against any fry.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
The side of cheese.
I agree with that move, but I had to leave even trying to better my health, leave the cheese behind because it's.
I shall never leave the cheese. Never leave the cheese behind.
You a skinny boy.
Right. Anyways,
make sure you drop. Hopefully you've already done it, but you dropped a picture of us at Johnny's in the video so people can see it.
Don't direct me. I got it.
No, I am directing you on that. Someone has to. I said at Johnny's, I'm like, we should take a picture to put it in the show. So I got to remind you.
Right. Okay.
All right, do we have anything else to talk about? This was a run-on show, as to be expected when we're exhausted.
For a show that you were so tired, you sure did talk a lot.
I did. I don't like it. I feel like it.
You played some fun golf. That's, it's.
I think it's more.
I feel like if I go and play like this week, I'm supposed to go up to Lasonia. Believe me, next week I'll have thoughts. Even though I think everyone knows at this point how I feel about it, but
let me know.
Still,
you have to let
we
me
haven't
know
seen
think.
I haven't played the new Woodlands.
Are you guys playing? I'm assuming you're playing both since you're going to be up there.
Yep, for sure.
Not worth the time otherwise.
For sure. Plugs. Do the plugs.
Got what we got this week? Echo. What's in the box?
Yep.
Also, I was supposed to bring those to John Heisey. I don't get to see him often, and he's got to write the review. Oh, don't worry, forgot him. Left him at home.
Nice job.
And then over on DriveRangeHeroes.com, got the Tour Edge Exotic C722 hybrid review. That one's been a long time coming. It's the players hybrid of the group. It's small, compact, really nice. I'm shocked the review has taken this long. I'm kind of glad it's finally out so I can talk more about it in my day-to-day life.
Sounds like a good range life gear talk.
Yeah, we got some
potential too.
We got some gear talking to do here on this channel. Yeah. And then the Asics Gel Ace Pro M golf shoe. These are the Hideki Asics shoes. So,
okay.
As soon as the Strixon Asics thing was happening, people are like, "Oh, we want the Hideki shoe though." And they weren't releasing the Hideki shoe. This is a Hideki shoe. So check that out. Tommy O'Connell wrote the review, DriveRangeHeroes.com. All right.
Sweet. There could be some more. There could be some Hideki news in the coming weeks.
And as the leading source for all your live content news.
We almost made it a whole episode without bringing that up. I ruined it. I'm sorry, everybody.
I mean, big topic. I will tell you,
there are so many rumors. I'm just exhausted by them.
I just don't. It's like I don't even care about the PGA tours. Why do I care about I don't care about any of this.
It was fun to watch Scott Piercy breakdown or what would you want to call it? Meltdown on the back nine today. It's always fun to watch someone that's a terrible person fall apart.
Wait, why is he a terrible person?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Let's
just say the deep state probably got him. The deep state got him. Oh. And that was that.
Oh.
Sorry. Anyways, close out the show.
I'm so glad I looked to the left and saw something that made me think of something else to tell you and then realize I can't tell you because of the content to be created around this.
Okay.
All right. Let's get out of here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is a show. That's Chris McEwen at Chris McEwen, where all the social medias are sold. I'm Bill Bush, DriveRangeHeroes.com, at Range Heroes. Don't forget to go down below, subscribe, hit the bell for all the notifications. Leave a comment if you don't mind. If you're listening to the podcast, please, we asked you earlier, leave the review, rate it, all that stuff. But most importantly, guys, tell your friends, get people watching, listening, whatever, so we can do these giveaways for you. Listen, we couldn't do this. We couldn't do this without you, okay?
It's fair. It's true.
Thank you for coming. As you heard, Kris has a lot of Lasonia stuff coming up. So, man, we're going to have a show next week. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time.